This is another Oden's Logbook. If you don't know what that is, go watch entry number 1 or number 2. Anyways, today we're going to talk about making music out of nothing. And essentially what this is going to tie back into is how to make better music. So Oden's Logbook, this is, my story on I want to become one of the best artists and best producers, hip hop artists, hip hop producers, mind you, that's ever done it, right? That's the goal. But one, I haven't done enough to earn that name. So the journey is doing that. That is the journey. I have not done enough in order to even be remotely even considered. So every time that you see me on camera is me working on a skill or me working on a move that will get me closer to that goal. And along the way, I'm going to just speak my mind, things that are just like on my head, because that's part of the journey. Like, I don't really want to be known for just like being good at something. I want to be known for the mind that I possess. I feel like that's just better, Like, there's a lot of people who can play bass guitar. I got like a bass guitar over there, and I'm maybe a 5 out of 10 at it. I can play it enough to put it in my beats and my songs, but I wouldn't be really fulfilled if I was just known as a bass player or a keyboard player or even just a rapper. Like, I want to be known for who I am and the ideals that I have. So along the way, while we are capturing that journey of trying to earn our marks to become one of the greatest, I'm going to be sharing my mind along the way. So today I want to talk about making music from nothing. Making music from nothing is essentially the number one skill that you need to have if you want to really be able to make good music. Let's take a trip backwards in my life. So for me, music began before I could really even process the world. And I do plan on making a documentary somehow. I just don't know how realistic it's going to be, but it is on the plans. It is on the plans to make a documentary, but I don't know. So some of this information may make its way over there, or it may never exist. I don't know, but let's start here. So when I was little, my mom would tell me stories, and I'd have very vague memories of this. I don't know what age it was at, but I actually do remember what house it was in. I just don't remember what time period we lived in that house. But anyways, she used to tell me that I used to pull out pots and pans and then arrange them into a drum set and play them. And I do actually remember doing that. I would take out the pots and pans, put, a snare drum here, and I would, it wasn't just like taking random pots. It was like actual, like, okay, let me take a small one that looks like a snare and put it here, and then let me take a smaller one and use that as a tom, and then a bigger one as the other tom, and then the bigger one to use that as another tom. And then for the cymbals, again, this is ingenious. I would take the lids, and I would turn them upside down, because most lids for a pot, they have like a little handle at the top. So if you turn it upside down, put it on the ground, when you hit it, it'll kind of like roll around like a cymbal. And so I would just kind of play. Now, did I know what the hell I was playing? Probably not. But I always gravitated towards drumming. Drumming was my beginnings into music. And then eventually that seed that existed there, it was watered by the movie Drumline that came out, which, being a percussion instructor and teaching kids who never seen the movie Drumline, that was a bit of a heartbreak. I digress. Moving forward. So the movie Drumline watered that interest in playing drums. And I forgot to mention that I knew how to arrange these drum sets because we grew up in church. So I would see the drum set, and then I would basically copy paste what I seen, but with the resources that I had. Keep in mind, resources that I had. Hopefully, if I can remember, we'll come back to that. Resources that I had. But anyways, so from then I would, again, more copy and paste, and I would listen to that movie so much that I was able to like recreate these cadences that they played, or these beats, if you guys are unfamiliar with cadences are, but basically like the songs that they play with drums. And for all my percussion people, I know y'all just got hella irritated because I just called them songs. But anyways, again, I digress. Moving forward. Long story short, because this is not about the story itself, this is just about the beginnings of where I got started. It basically started with 2 sticks and something to hit, you know what I'm saying? And I ran with it. I just kept playing and playing and playing on anything that I can find, and that laid the foundation for my musical ability that I have now. Let's jump this over into making music from nothing. Once I hit about like high school, that's where I started entering the production scene and learning about it online, but then also like doing it within my city. And one thing, and it was actually later. It was probably, this would have been after high school. Yeah. So scratch that. This was after high school. I forget what years this really was a thing. But long story short, people started, it was like the thing. Like being a producer was the thing to do. And so people started making their own beats and doing this and doing that and yada yada yada. And with zero musical background, instead what happened is they would listen to songs, which at the point, the songs that they were listening to were not people being original. It was, and mind you, being original it's not really a thing. Like, we all just work off of borrowed inspiration and just like organize it into our own thing. But the way we organize it into our own thing, like that's being original. Like, to me, at least, I don't know what the textbook Google definition is. I don't care what the Google definition is. If you just know how to produce something that has your signature on it, that's packaged in a new way, original for me, works. There are certain caveats to that. Timbaland. Anyways, yeah, so people started making music with zero foundation for music, and they was listening to artists who weren't even being original, and that they were just taking other people's flows, I don't even know how to describe it well, because there's nothing really to describe. It was the same beat, just done by a different artist who had a different vocal tone, because we all don't sound the same. So they essentially were doing the same thing, but this person sounds different solely because God gave him a different voice. But like his approach to the song, the beats that they were using, everything was pretty much the same. And of course, that's a general statement that doesn't apply to everybody. I know there were some people that kind of broke out of that, but there's only a reason why X amount of people that started 10 years ago in like 2016 are actually still around and relevant, But anyways, moving forward, it got to a point where music became accessible to make, and people were doing what they were hearing instead of creating what they were feeling. And when you just like try to recreate what you're hearing, you don't really develop any type of real skill. You just learn a recipe, essentially. Like, I guess an easy way to kind of explain a concept is if you had a chef versus somebody who just knows a recipe or two. Completely different. Like, put them in the kitchen, you're going to get wildly different results, because the chef, in this case, understands, okay, we're going to make this type of dish. And when we make this type of dish, we need to prepare it this way. And they're familiar with the different ways to prepare the dish. They know what is best paired with that dish. And they know what drink best pairs with the meal. And like, they can make you a variety of food versus the person that just knows a recipe or two just spams that recipe or two. Like, it's common sense. I don't understand why like people don't see that in music. I don't know. I think it's just because when you have like bullshit that sells in a capitalist country where like you can make money from it, like everybody just like spams that like thing so they can like try to turn a profit and yeah. But that's a whole nother book, because like production is in my opinion, production is one of the reasons why music is as bad as it got. And I say that again as like a general statement, because there's a lot of good music out there. There's a lot of people they're making hits. Simple as that. But there is an overwhelming majority of people who's not them. And those not them people, they started making music on production that started getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, faster and faster and faster, all because producers were trying to like cut the market and get a profit. And so like producers play a very big role in the downfall of why we've even allowed a lot of this mediocrity into the game. And here's the crazy part. I'm going on a side bender. Fuck it. I've worked in some studios, and we'll get into some stories about the studio and the many of sessions that I had. But if producers was like, hey, I want to work with you, and did it off the strength of I fuck with this artist as an artist and not like I'm just trying to run up a bag, we essentially would have been the gatekeepers of like who gets to really make good music like that. Or the artist would have to kind of figure it out on their own. Like, imagine if all the producers were like, nah, this isn't good enough. You can't use my beat, bro. This is trash. Like, just imagine if that was a thing over the years. Versus like, hey, I got 50 beats, bro. Just like, if you got a Kit Kat, half a Eaton Crunch Bar, and $2, I'll sell it to you. That's what the fuck producers was on. And they played a role in the whole like non-musicality of music. But anyways, let's get back to the main point. So the main point is like making music from nothing. Really, what I'm trying to say here is, one, find an instrument to play. It can be drums. It can be simple as 2 sticks and something to beat on. Find a piano. Find a guitar. Just find something to where you can learn rhythm and fall in love with motion through sound. Because songs aren't these static things. And again, to bring attention to making better quality music, listen to some, let's just say Kendrick, because he's relevant right now. He's very much relevant right now. A lot of his songs, you don't hear a loop just on repeat. And if you do, there's a lot of micro changes that happens to it throughout time. And if there's, and let's just say it is the same loop. Dun 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 dun. You're gonna at least get other supporting elements throughout the song most of the time. Now, don't get me wrong. There's like a couple of songs out there that's not overly like produced, but that's also like less than 5% of like his catalog probably. A lot of the stuff, there's real life people in there playing things and stuff is moving, and it's not just block chords that they like click in, which I think I'm gonna save clicking in for maybe another video. I don't even got time to rant on that, but yeah, I'm finna wrap this up now. So all in all, here's the point. You want to make better music, learn to make music with nothing. Make it with your hands. Make it beatbox, for Christ's sakes. Like, beatbox. I used to beatbox when I was a kid. I can't beatbox now. Or, well, I mean, I can beatbox, but it's not like no American Idols, America's Got Talent type beatboxing, but you know, I can beatbox. Go fall in love with the act of making music and then bring it to your software. Like, if you don't got that baseline, like if you just don't love the process of making music, don't bring that shit over to the DAW, bro. Don't go try to find some passion inside of the DAW first. Like, go appreciate music outside of it first. You don't have to. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of people who don't play instruments that can make beats inside of DAWs and do it fairly well. But that's not the natural order of things. And for those who chase the irregular, damn, I cannot say that word. Irregularity? Is that even a word? Oh, shit, we gotta look this up. Irregularities. Okay, I had to see it. Irregularities. Those for who chase irregularities, they're fucking stupid. Don't be stupid. Like, why are you chasing something that's not natural? Most people who are really good at this music shit, and like, stop basing like your outlook on mediocre people, bro. Like, just stop. Go study somebody. Go study multiple people that are really good, and you're gonna find common ground in what they all do. Like, I'd be hard pressed to find a basketball player that's, you know, just didn't work on his shot, or didn't work on dribbling, or didn't work on blocking, or whatever, you know, thing that he's good at, because not everybody can shoot. But yeah, anyways, so go make music with nothing. Go fall in love with music first, bring it back to the DAW. Goodbye.